The WNBA season opener between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky wasn't just a clash of two promising teams, it turned into an emotional powder keg that reignited one of the fiercest rivalries in modern women's basketball. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, two of the most talked about athletes since their unforgettable college showdowns, took center stage once again. But this time, their on-court battle wasn't the only thing grabbing headlines. The league confirmed it is investigating allegations of hateful comments directed at Sky forward Angel Reese during the game. In a firm statement, the WNBA emphasized its stance. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter. It was a night that was meant to celebrate basketball, talent, and the continued rise of the women's game. Yet, as fans packed Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, tensions were palpable. The animosity between Clark and Reese has grown with each contest since their collegiate days, and it boiled over once again on Saturday night. The WNBPA issued its own statement of support, backing the league's investigation and denouncing the behavior. The WNBPA is aware of reports of hateful comments at yesterday's game in Indianapolis and supports the WNBA's current investigation into this matter. Such behavior is unacceptable in our sports. From the moment the lights hit the court, Angel Reese was met with a wall of boos from the Indiana crowd. It didn't stop there. Every time she touched the ball, every time she lined up for a shot, the reaction was sharp and cutting. But she didn't back down. She showed the same fire and poise that made her a champion. With less than 5 minutes left in the third quarter, the intensity escalated into confrontation. Caitlin Clark fouled Reese hard on the arm as she drove to the basket, then gave her a noticeable shove. Reese didn't flinch. She sprang to her feet, words exchanged between her and Clark, before Aliyah Boston stepped in to defuse the situation. The moment simmered but didn't boil over. Referees took a closer look. The result: Clark's foul was upgraded to a flagrant one. Reese and Boston received offsetting technical fouls. The game pressed on, but the emotion lingered in the air like thunder before a storm. Despite the hostile reception, Reese delivered on the stat sheet, 12 points, and she led the game with 17 rebounds. A force in the paint, she stood tall amid the pressure and noise. On the other end, Clark put on a performance that silenced any doubters. A triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. A dazzling display of vision, skill, and clutch execution. Indiana Fever walked away with the win, 93-58, a blowout victory in the record books. But headlines weren't focused on the score. The real story was about more than basketball. It was about what happens when sports meet culture, rivalry meets resentment, and fame meets friction. Reese has long been a polarizing figure, not for lack of skill, but because of how she owns her narrative, her attitude, and her identity. She plays with swagger. She plays with pride. And that rubs some fans the wrong way. Clark, the golden girl of the sport, is just as fierce. But her fan base is massive, and vocal. That vocal base turned toxic in Indianapolis, according to reports. And now, the league is faced with a challenge: how to ensure its games are arenas of competition, not hostility. It's no secret that rivalries are good for sports. They fuel storylines, ignite fan engagement, and create unforgettable moments. But when those rivalries cross the line, from competitive to hateful, that's when leadership must step in. The WNBA has a duty to protect its players, on the court and off. This league, built on the shoulders of trailblazing women, must stand firm in the face of vitriol. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark deserve to be celebrated for their talent, not turned into lightning rods for division. This investigation is more than a procedural response. It's a test of the WNBA's values. The outcome will speak volumes. As the season continues, fans will undoubtedly keep watching Clark and Reese. Their rivalry is far from over. If anything, Saturday night just added fuel to the fire. But beyond the highlight reels and the stat lines, there's a bigger conversation to be had, about race, fandom, and the evolving role of women in sports. The WNBA has grown immensely in visibility and influence. With that growth comes responsibility. The players are role models, and the league's response sets a precedent. Whether intentional or not, fans' behavior has an impact. Words shouted from the stands don't vanish into the rafters, They hit, they echo, and they shape narratives. That's why leagues and unions alike must draw the line clearly. Saturday night should have been about a marquee matchup. Instead, it became a moment of reckoning. Reese stood tall through it all, just as she always has. Clark played with brilliance, proving why she's already a generational talent. But the noise surrounding them shows how much work remains. The season is young, and there are more games to play. More battles to be fought. More moments that will define this era of women's basketball. Hopefully, they'll be remembered for the excellence on the court, not the ugliness in the crowd. And for now, all eyes remain on the WNBA's next move.